r/AskReddit. Introverts, how did you meet your girlfriend? Met someone that realized I was too shy to make a move and aggressively flirted with me and hinted all the time. We worked together. I wasn't really interested at first. She seemed a bit standoffish, but one day she stayed after work and hung out talking to me. I invited her to a 4th of July cookout at a friend's house the next day, as my crush couldn't make it. She said yes and was very touchy-feely with me. I was oblivious still. One of my friends at the cookout suggested a few of us go see a movie the next day and she said yes. When we went, she sat next to me and kinda snuggled up close. Still oblivious. After the movie, she hung out with me at my apartment, sat on my lap with her honey my chest, and watched Red vs Blue with me. She was cold and asked me to hold her. She put my hand on her ass. And I was still oblivious. It wasn't until she left at 2 AM that I realized what if she's into me. I told a close girlfriend of mine, and she almost hit me for not asking her out. So I called her up and she said yes. We've been together 7 years now. I was both an introvert and an idiot. When guys say we don't catch signals, we really don't. My girlfriend is an extrovert. She introduced herself and I made an uncomfortable joke about how since she doesn't know me I'm MR anonymous. We've been together for 5 years now. I'm sure this is a rare one, but Omegle 6 years ago. I used to use the website a lot, chatting with girls. I met my girlfriend on the site and starting messaging each other a lot, then Skyping. It turns out she was planning on going to the same college as I was, lived in the same state. Now we have been living together for 2 years. Through a mutual friend. We've known each other since 2011 and I had a crush on her since day one. We used to cuddle a lot after parties throughout the years but I was too scared to ask her out. In 2018 I asked said mutual friend if he thought she'd like to go out with me. He just straight up asked her. She said that she would like that but I was still too scared to do anything. She got tired of waiting for me to ask her out and asked me out instead. Turns out she had a crush on me all that time too. We're engaged now. Currently single, but in the past, it usually came about because we were in the same marching band friend group. Another happened because we sat next to each other at college orientation and we hit things off from there. Through Tinder during COVID. Honestly when we first matched I thought she was a bot or she was just looking for entertainment during COVID so I didn't text. A couple of hours later I get a message from her asking about my name and then we took off from there. Due to our distance though we already been on 2 dates and planning our 3rd. Here's hoping we become official. My close friends and I met up for drinks before a house party, and one of my friends brought their course mate. Usually I have trouble being confident and outgoing around new people, but because I was comfortable with almost everyone there I acted a lot more chill, cracking jokes, doing stupid shit, basically my true self. She told my friend that she thinks I'm good looking and it took me a good 2 hours to come up with the courage to talk to her. Anyway we've been together for almost a year now lol. I hope a story of how I met my now husband is okay for this post. I was going to therapy and was encouraged to go out to events and parties. I met him at a university holiday event and we both volunteered to visit and give donuts to kids in the hospital. I pulled myself together and went to every party or hangout I was invited to. We got to know each other, got drunk with friends one night and we started to making out. Then we went on a few dates and slowly became serious. Our first dates were pretty easy going since we already knew each other and the dates were more fun than a scary interview. We just celebrated 2 years of marriage. Dating app called Whippler. Joined it. It's laid out like a set of octagonal tiles with the ones nearest the top being nearest to you and as you go down they get further away. Sent a message to this girl that wasn't too far away from me and asked if she'd be up for chatting and once she said okay we had a brief chat. At the end I asked if she'd be okay with me messaging again and that was okay so we built up our conversations in terms of length and depth and went on a first date about a month later. We've been together almost 4 years now. We met at work. I was shy and she just randomly came up to me one day and asked if I wanted to be her friend. We hit it off there and then, but I started to catch feelings not long after. Turns out she felt the same way, and we are now in a relationship and I couldn't be happier. Those of you who are still reading this know, I'm completely bullshitting. Of course I don't have a girlfriend. I'm an introverted, shy and oxygen wasting organism who only has an imagination to keep my spirits up. Overcame my fear of rejection. Man, the F I started failing at chatting up girls. Not even chatting up, just talking to random girls. After a while I lost my fear, gained confidence and got a girl. Getting the right girl is actually the last step in building your own confidence. So I would suggest that starting right now, make a conversation with every person you interact with. Just something small and easy. Just one line to the next person you see and build from there. Met her in HS. I was able to slowly get to know her. She was a friend of a friend in our friend group. I slowly got used to her. She became one of my closest friends. A friend in the same group did have the courage to ask her out. When that ended several years later, we were still friends. Then we got together. By that time I had been in the army a while and was able to grow a pair. I'm still an introvert on the inside, but I've been able to get up and talk in front of 250 people. I would have rather have been in my office with the door shut, but you do what you have to. My advice is to be a chameleon. You can be an introvert, but you should be able to play the part of an outgoing fun person. I do a lot of matching the enthusiasm of the person I talk to. If someone gives me a big, happy hi, I shake my head and blink like a bomb went off and say hi. After a while, you can be confident and outgoing in public but go home and hide in the basement. Literally being myself. I met her and she was a friend for the first weeks until I realized I love her. It was an emotional gradient and it was the weirdest and best thing ever. I am still relatively cynical, but now when and how to express it without just being contrarian or pledging allegiance to neither side. And it was the most awesome thing and probably the thing, but that emotion changed me. I was being 100% me, whereas in the past I always talked to women I was attracted to in a manner that sometimes made me cringe mid-convo. This time there was no line between me and presentable me, it was all truth and to a certain degree vulnerability. The phrase putting yourself out there is a perfect embodiment of what I mean. Not only in the literal way of leaving your house, but also extending the you outside, where of course the possibility of rejection exists. Dating site. Took me 2 months after I registered, chatted, we hit it off, we called each other, we talked for a long time, we met up many times, she moved in with me, we lived together and studied at a university, we got jobs, we moved a house, we got married a year ago, that's where we are now. Have really cool hobbies and plan interesting dates. Even if it's the first date, plan something interesting to do that shows off your talent intelligence. Don't worry about the small talk too much. Let your lifestyle speak for itself. Answer: I live on a sailboat, so we met at the marina for our first date. She had lots of questions and it was something I knew a lot about, so I had lots of confidence. She was 3 hours late for work the next morning. We've been together 2 years. Shotgun method on dating apps. Swipe right until I run out of likes. Do it again the next day. Work with what I get back. Roughly once a year I get a date. Had 2 girlfriends over the last 4 years, so I'm rocking a 50% hit rate so far. She asked me to play poker with her back at her dorm. It didn't click that she might actually like me or whatever. I almost didn't call her. Something told me I prob should and she wouldn't have asked me specifically. Anyway, been married since 2007. I'm the girlfriend, but we met playing WoW. I like talking to new people and have always played online games to stay social with friends when we move several states apart, as people who meet in college so often do. He was an active member in a friends guild and after a while we realized it wasn't just a really good friendship. My BF doesn't use Reddit, so I will answer for him. He's extremely introverted and has a lot of trouble talking to random people, but he tried a dating site. A Cupid to be specific. He liked me, but never messaged me cause he was too scared. One day I'm scrolling through the site, and I see him and think his picture is cute, so I read his profile, then I liked him. I got a message that we matched, so I messaged him. We started talking in late March on OkCupid, then moved to Discord and we've been together since. So he met me on a dating site because I was not too scared to say hi to him, just because we matched. Thank you for watching today's episode of r/AskReddit. If you have any similar stories, feel free to share them in the comments section. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Until next time, goodbye.